Welcome to another episode of Keeping It Real, the largest podcast made by real estate agents and for real estate agents. My name is DJ Paris. I am your guide and host through the show. And today, once again, is our monthly series, Learn with a Lender with Joel Schaub from Guaranteed Rate. Now, Joel is the Vice President of Lending at Guaranteed Rate. He's been doing loans at a high level since 2003, and he's got to that level because of what he does specifically for agents, which is he gives back part of his commission to the buyer on every transaction, making you, the agent, look like a hero. Now, last year alone, Joel gave back almost $300,000 in closing costs to buyers who worked with him. And that puts Joel's volume in the top 0.1% of all lenders nationwide. And just to kind of make maybe a little bit more sense, there's 400,000 loan officers in the United States, and Joel's currently ranked number 137. Last year, he closed over 619 transactions, his highest amount ever, for $249 million. And already this year, with the market, changing, he's already closed 215 transactions. Now that, yes, 215 transactions for $87 million. 95.2% of that were purchases. So if you're looking for a loan officer, we cannot more highly recommend Joel. He's the very best we've ever worked with. Joel can be reached at his email address, which is joel@rate.com. Very easy, JOEL @RATE.com. Or you can shoot him a text message or call him at 773-654-2049. Let's say hello to the biggest Cubs fan I know, Joel Schaub. Welcome once again.
Thanks, DJ. I appreciate you having me on again. And I love hearing those numbers, but none of the accolades really matter. It's like every time we get together, it's one of my favorite times because we're giving, we're sharing, and we're really educating agents out there about what's happening right now.
Yeah, and I think now it's such a great time to have these particular episodes because the market has changed. Rates, of course, have gone up. We knew they were going up, but here we are. And I think it's agents, it's a tough time right now to be an agent. There's not a lot of inventory. Rates are up, so buyers are maybe more constricted. So any advice that you can help our audience understand about how to proceed and is always going to be great in times like these. And I don't think it's such a terrible time, but I know for agents, we had some really great years the last few years, and it's obviously just changing a bit. So would love to hear about what's going on in the market.
I'm excited about this time. If I'm an agent and I work with buyers, it's actually easier right now that rates are up for buyers to go under contract to a property, DJ. Period, cut and dry. So remember, we're always thinking of the bright side of things right now. If you're an agent and you're working with buyers, they don't have to compete against 15 other offers where you went in at full asking price or even 20 or 50 grand over and still lost, okay? It wasn't that many months ago where that was what was going on. And so now we're sitting here saying, oh my gosh, this market is so hard. The last 2 years have been hard. Okay. They've just been hard in a different way. Okay. Right. So I have a lot of excitement right now, and things that are going to be happening this summer and fall for buyers are that just rates being up gives me an opportunity to go in and actually buy the home at the right price instead of these inflated prices that buyers were paying sight unseen for homes, DJ.
Yeah, and I think your experience is really relevant here too, because you started in 2003. You've already seen a pretty dramatic couple of cycles of the market with rates, of course, and just the economy. And you have zero control, like the rest of us listening, over what happens to rates. So you've had to roll with the good and the bad, the peaks and the valleys. And I really appreciate you talking about the bright side of it, because there is always a way to take advantage in a healthy way of a current situation, but it's also easy to get discouraged. And I love the fact that you're always looking for the positives and you're not Pollyanna about it. It's not like, oh, there's no weeds in my garden. There's no weeds in my garden. It's like, no, there's weeds. I'll pick them out, but then I have a beautiful garden again. And so I think it's maybe now more than ever, I think it's really important for the agents to stay positive. So would love to hear about anything that I know you guys have a new product or new process, I guess I should say, about how agents can lock in, or sorry, how buyers can lock in rates. So could we talk about that?
Yeah, right now it's really important that we have seen a dip in rates, right? It wasn't that long ago where the headlines were rates have topped 6%. Well, we've backed way off from that. Okay. So when rates go up like that, it was a knee jerk reaction to what the Federal Reserve was going to have to do to combat inflation. And so it was the anticipation of what they did or will do is what drove rates up. And once they actually did it, rates came down. Okay. So now we're sitting at rates anywhere in that 5.5 above or below, when it wasn't even 3 weeks ago where we saw rates considerably higher. So how do we take advantage of that if we're agents? And how do we take advantage of these lower rates if we're buyers, if we still don't even have a house? Okay. A lot of banks right now, including ours, are offering the lock and roll type of programs, DJ, where you could actually secure a rate lock for 60 or 90 days, even without a home. And so if you're out there right now as an agent and you're working with a mortgage broker, call them. Call them now and ask about any of the lock and roll type of programs. Okay, they come in different names, of course, but the concept here is, could I lock a rate? Could my clients lock a rate with you, even if we have not identified a property? Find out how long they can lock for and take advantage right now, because when rates are lower, these banks will either allow you to float the rate down when rates go down if they're under contract, or if rates go up, the client's been protected because they locked in a rate before they even found the home. It's a great opportunity right now if I'm an agent to partner with a mortgage person in your local area that could really help you work with buyers.
Yeah, and I think this is a great thing for agents to start getting more familiar with. As we know, agents study the MLS and are constantly looking, especially now with lower inventory over the last many years. Now we've had inventory shortages across the country. And of course, it's more important now than ever to know when things come on the market. It's also more important now maybe than in recent times to know where rates are. Not that you have to be an expert, because of course that's what Joel and his team and other loan officers will do for you. But it's good for the agent to know, because I think it creates an action step for agents. If they do see a dip or an increase, I think like Joel, like you were saying, great opportunity to reach out and say, hey, I've noticed rates have come down a little bit. It might be a great time just to lock in a rate. Oh, we don't have a property. Usually not a problem. We can still get it locked in through this particular process. So, because I haven't calculated what the percentage change is from 6%, or I know it was even well over 6% now, down to, like you were saying, 5.5, and a little bit either direction of that. But that's like a 30% shift, or not a 30% shift, but like a 20% change. So that's like significant, right? So I was thinking that would be a good thing for agents, not to obsess about and not to let ruin or make your day, but just to know what's going on, so that it might, I know that if I was a buyer, I would love to get a call, or rather, if I was thinking about buying and I was like, oh, rates are where they are, I would love to get a call from my agent going, hey, did you know rates dipped a little bit? It might be a good time to lock something in. And I suspect most agents will never think to make that call.
Another great talking point. If I'm an agent right now and you hear it from buyers that they're really on the fence about buying because of rates being up, okay? But to put it into perspective, we're just back to where rates have been for years. These are still at lows. It just took a pandemic, and it took 2 full years where the Federal Reserve had to cut rates to near zero to get mortgage rates down below 3%. And we knew it wasn't sustainable. We can go back to many episodes where I was on this program talking about how this won't last. So let's get in while the times are good. And now the times are still good. Okay. We can still go out and obtain properties, and we don't have to overbid. So if I'm an agent, I'm reaching back out and saying, I know the headlines recently said that rates were above 6%. There are a lot of options to get rates in the 4s and 5s right now. Okay. So make sure that you're making those types of phone calls and partnering with somebody. How many times have I been on the show, DJ, where I'm explaining to agents the value of partnering with a mortgage professional?
All the time, constantly.
What you want to do is, mortgage professionals now more than ever should be willing to put their money where their mouth is and partner with you. So right now, when you're getting these phone calls from great mortgage professionals, ask them what they're willing to contribute on marketing dollars. And I love saying this because I get so much hate mail from other lenders around the country saying, why are you telling people that I will spend money on them? Because good loan officers will. So partner with these people that are really in your community that you know, like, and trust, and ask them not just for you to send them business, but what could they partner with you on? Okay. So I partner with my agents on so many different RESPA compliant marketing initiatives, spending thousands and thousands of dollars a month to help agents grow their business. And mortgage professionals that are good would be more than willing to do this with you if you're an agent. Okay. So lean on them, make a friend. Now's the time. Lenders aren't as busy as they were the last 2 years. So make sure that you're partnering with people that are really committed to helping you grow.
I have a question, Joel. Do you happen to know, and I don't know the answer to this, and if not, we could just estimate how
Yeah.
many loan officers do you think are in the Chicagoland area, including the suburbs, just the entire Chicagoland? It's got to be at least a few thousand, I'm guessing. Maybe not that many. I don't know.
In our state right now, we have just north of 17,000 in the state of Illinois, and a big
Okay.
majority of them are in the metro market area. So there are thousands in what we consider the greater Chicago area for sure.
So that's what I figured. I was thinking 5,000 or so. I don't know what we obviously don't know what the full number is, but the reason I'm bringing this up, I was thinking because you were just talking about partnering with agents, and I get an email from your team, from Marie on your team every single week. That's it. I don't practice real estate, so this sticks out a little bit to me. So I see it and I always think, oh, I won't participate. I can't participate with this, but I love the fact that it's sent. Is every week, I think on Wednesday or Thursday, she sends me an email saying, hey, do you have any open houses this weekend? Because we want to help you with that. If you do, we can provide all sorts of marketing material, et cetera. And every single week without fail, you send that. And then I'm thinking, okay, so we have about 700 plus agents at our company. Do you know how many other loan officers send me that email saying, hey, we want to work with you? Zero. Literally,
Yeah.
literally zero.
Not even one.
Isn't that shocking that there's lots of great loan officers, and I don't mean to belittle anyone else. And I'm just saying, I guess the takeaway is the road less traveled is not that busy, right? So if you're willing to go the extra mile as an agent and call your prospective buyers and say, hey, rates have come down, I really want to help you lock in a good rate, they're probably not getting that call from somebody else, just like I'm not getting those emails from other loan officers saying, hey, we want to work with your agents. So I think these specific sort of ideas that you're giving our audience are just absolutely gold, because I don't really see a lot of other givers get mentality out there in the lending space or the LO space. And I love the fact that has been the cornerstone of your business, is give, and then of course things just happen for you as well.
I'm happy to share those tidbits because actually something that's easy to read quickly and digestible for agents so that they can have good talking points on a weekly basis that's timely, and something that they can share and sound knowledgeable about, something that they probably wouldn't otherwise have a reason to talk to their buyers about. And so it's our weekly update. And yeah, I've literally had hundreds of people from the Keeping It Real podcast reach out and want to be involved in that and just get on the list. And so they can, if you're listening now, you can absolutely just email joel@rate.com and my team will put you right on the list. And so every single week you'll get a timely, fresh market update of just things that are going on that'll help you. And that's truly it. It's just something that'll actually make you sound smarter. And who doesn't want that? I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I've just figured out ways that we can actually be educational and lead with value.
And by the way, to further my point about how going the extra mile is always the way to go. Market updates. You send this weekly market update, which is amazing, which you're just referencing. And everybody should get on this list because it gives agents specifically those exact talking points of here's what's gone on in the last week. Here's what you need to know. And again, gives you a reason to pick up the phone and call your clients. And I get zero other market updates from, I'm realizing not only do I get zero open house, we want to help you with open houses, I get zero market updates from, and it's not because I unsubscribe from everyone's newsletters. Literally nobody else sends them to me. And, I think there's an opportunity there for agents to realize communication is the key, and having a couple of talking points is all you need. And then when they ask a question about rates that you don't quite know how to answer, great, let me connect you with my partner. And then you pass over Joel or whoever your loan officers. But we should mention that we're in the Chicagoland area, but Joel, you and your team and Guaranteed Rate is works in all 50 states. So even if you're not here in the Chicagoland area, please reach out to Joel and his team. They will guide you in the right direction. And what's so if they want to get on your list, they can email you, joel@rate.com. And then what's another way that somebody should reach out to you if they want to partner with you or just ask questions or learn more about Guaranteed Rate?
I mean, we actually answer the phone. I mean, you can test me. It's 773-654-2049, and that number hasn't changed in 17 years. And they're always surprised that we actually answer the phone. I mean, on 2 rings, and that's what happens on Saturdays and Sundays. At most banks, they're closed, so you need to have a mortgage partner that'll actually pick up the phone and make sure that your buyers are taken care of. And in reference to the newsletter, I mean, it kind of started as like a private insider tip, right? I was writing this on a weekly basis with my agents, and I started hearing from other agents. They go, "Hey, how do I get access to this? I just want to read this. Can I get in even if I'm not sending you business?" And so that's what this list is. You can literally just ask Joel@rate.com and say, "Add me to the list." And then you'll get the market update on a weekly basis like an insider, and have really great sharing and talking points for you to go back to buyers. And when you're leading with education, these people will notice it, because right now it's going to make a difference between those that are selling and those that are helping. And salespeople come and go, but if you're actually there to provide value, listen to the needs, there's an opportunity for buyers right now. And in the months ahead, as these rates stay inflated, buyers are going to have an opportunity to finally come in and buy properties under market value and under list price. And that's what I'm really excited about. So if I'm an agent, keep the hope alive, all right? The sky isn't falling. Most of the Federal Reserve increases that affect mortgage rates are pretty much baked in at this point. So yes, the Feds will continue to raise rates, DJ, but we from here don't anticipate seeing mortgage rates go to 8 or 9%. There's a really good likelihood that we see rates in the next couple of years hit 4% before they hit 8%, okay? So we're in really good shape, and just know that as long as you're out there helping buyers, the specific rate doesn't matter, but know that they have come down, and lead with value and call some of these people right now and see if they need to get out of a renting situation and start buying.
Well, and you mentioned this at the beginning, and I think it's important to even just reiterate, which is, of course, pricing. Home prices have come down, and so now, yes, rates have gone up. They're still, I think, reasonable. Not compared to the last 2 years, but in our historical averages, like, boy, our parents would have loved to have a 5 or 6% mortgage, depending on when they bought. And the fact is that home prices are down. So this might actually be more beneficial, even though rates are slightly higher than they were before. So because people aren't paying as much for the same properties. And, I almost wonder in a couple of years, for people that really, really paid well above asking price, I almost wonder if there's going to be a little bit of buyer's remorse there. So if you have not buyer's remorse, but just maybe some not so great feelings. And I think if you thought, oh boy, it was hard working with buyers the last couple of years, I think it's actually better now. Actually, rates are higher, so that's a little bit of a hurdle, but prices are way down. So I think it's ultimately a good thing.
That's what's great in the United States, DJ, is that you always can refinance that mortgage, right? But once you buy into a property and you've paid 50 grand more, there isn't a program where you can just wipe out 50 grand worth of debt, okay? So what you can do in the United States is always refinance the mortgage. So I love this phrase, right? I love the idea that you marry the home, but date the rate. Okay, I'll say it again, right? We got to find the home that we want, right? We love it. We're going to marry the home. We're not going to marry the rate. We're going to date the rate. Okay.
Yeah.
One of my friends says, marry the home and divorce the rate. All right. Let's get rid of the rate. When the rate's no longer working for us and rates are lower, let's kick that man to the curb or woman to the curb, right? Whatever the phrase may be.
Sure.
The point is, there is an opportunity right now. So remember, not if rates go down, but if and when rates go down, you can refinance that mortgage. And so you definitely can get out there and buy a home right now and have kind of the pick of the litter coming up, because there won't be 25 other offers on the same place. So I'm very excited. As I've told you, even off air, this is the time where good agents continue to grow. And just by staying positive, it's about mindset and it's about education. And right now it's not as bad as it could be. So get out there and let's win some business this summer. Okay.
And there's a lot of things we just can't control. We can't control inventory. We can't control rates. We can't control the economy or the political climate or even the social climate in a lot of ways. So a lot of things are outside our control, but what we always can control is our activity and our willingness to want to provide. And so Joel is a perfect example of somebody who just constantly lives that, despite whatever's going on in the market. I've known Joel for many years now, and he is not his personality, his activity is no different when the rates are lower to rates are higher, because he knows that is largely, that's more secondary to providing amazing service. You provide amazing service, rates and costs and things oftentimes take a back seat. What's most important is the relationship. And so this is a great opportunity to reevaluate your relationship with your loan officer. And if you don't have somebody who's really out there pulling for you and helping you, Joel and his team would love to chat with you. So reach out to him, get on his email list, joel@rate.com, ask to be on the list. I'm telling you guys, it will give you a reason to pick up the phone and call your clients and say, hey, just, you're probably seeing some things about rates. Here's what you need to know. That's a huge thing. You start doing that for all your clients, they're going to be like, wow, nobody's ever done that for me. The loan officer we worked with probably didn't do it. The agents they've worked with in the past probably didn't do that either. Right. So it's not that hard. And Joel will do all the work for you. He'll actually send you the email and you just have to read from it, which is even better. Because I go to Mortgage News Daily every so often, which is a great website for learning about mortgages. I can't make heads or tails of any of the articles in there because they are so industry specific. They're really challenging for me to read. So I go through that and my mind starts spinning. And I love the email you send once a week that says, here's what you need to know. Because Mortgage News Daily is a great website, but boy, it's over my head. But anyway, so what a great episode. Stay positive, everyone. Things are not they're not. Try to filter out the noise that you're hearing in your office from other agents. Good agents are excited about this time. It's a little different. That's all that it is. It's a little different, but great opportunity to build your business. And we're probably going to see a number of realtors exiting the business as a result of this, which will only help the ones that are dedicated. So anyway, stay positive. Joel, thank you so much for being on our show once again. Guys, reach out to Joel. He's really that good. He's an amazing human being and his team is amazing. And he wants to work with you guys. And of course, guys, men and women, of course. Also, as always, please tell a friend about our show. Just think of one other agent that could benefit from hearing this episode from Joel. Maybe somebody who's maybe feeling a little down or depressed right now about what's going on in the market. Send them this episode. This will probably change their attitudes a little bit, and that would be great. So anyway, send them a link to our episode, and then we will see everybody on the next show. So Joel, thanks so much.
DJ, you're the best. Thanks for having me on. Have a great day.
Thanks.